Hi, we're in lesson 11. This is exercise 21 in the self-study program. And this deals with 1099B statement and a brokerage statement. And it's for Ronald Davis. I created the Ronald Davis basic return already, so I wouldn't spend time keying in that information, his personal information. Remember, we're in still the 20 and using the 2023 tax software. So I'm going to go in and look for Davis. And there it is, Ronald Davis. I'm going to select Ronald's return. And as we go in, I want to mention that the first item in the exercise is that to report that he had a long-term capital loss carryover from last year of $5,000. So where do we find this information? Well, we're in the federal section. And what we want to do in the federal section is look for under income. There it is. And we want to look for its capital loss. So capital losses and capital gains are reported in the same area. There's Schedule B. I'm looking through here. Profit or loss for business. Here it is. Capital gains and losses reported in Schedule D. So it's Schedule D. I just want to remind everyone I could click on it here. I could select this and go in. Or I could have just, if I knew that it was Schedule D, I could have gone up here to the form finder and found it and gone directly. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to go back and go in through this method using this and say begin. Okay, we're in here. Now we're looking for a loss carryover. It's not that, it's not that. Oh, there it is. Capital loss carryover. Prior year capital loss. Say begin. It's not a section 1250. It's not this. It's not short term. There it is. Taxpayer long-term loss carryover from 2022. Again, we're using the 2023 software, so the prior year is 2022. The amount was $5,000. So we just enter that, and we're done. Now, what else do we have in this section? Well, we are told that he inherited 25 shares of IBM stock from his Uncle Jim, who died in 2015. Uncle Jim purchased it for $50 a share, and the share price was $105 per share in the date of his death. Well, we're given a hint as well that the cost basis for inherited items is determined at the value on the date of death of the bequeather, Uncle Jim. So the value on that day of his death was $105. So we don't care about the $50 he paid for it. We just care about the $105 he paid for it. So we need to enter in, we have a form, 1099B, that we're provided that shows that he sold 25 shares of IBM stock at $3,569.50. So we're going to go into, in here, stocks, mutual funds, cryptocurrencies. And what was this? It was 25 shares of IBM stock. So we can say IBM stock. We could have just said common stock. Date acquired. What was the date acquired? Well, it was in 2015. And it was just one date it was acquired. If we don't have the specific date, we could just key in. Normally, I like to put in a date in the middle of the year. So let's say it was acquired in 7/1/2015, 1st of July. Date sold. When was it sold? We're given the date it was sold. The date it was sold is on the 1099B form. It's 8/19/2023. I've already entered it, so I'm going to enter it here. 8/19/2023. What was the sales price? Well, the sales price we have on the 1099B, it was $3,569.50. So I'm going to round that up. It's $3,570. 3570. Cost basis type. Well, we were told that it's not reported to the IRS. So, basis reported, not reported. And there it is. Cost. What was the cost? Well, the cost was $105 times 25. I did the math, and doing the math, it's $2,625. Again, that's $105 times 25 shares. Are there any adjustments to be made? Doesn't show anything. And we have nothing else to enter, so we'll just say continue to save it. And now we've saved it. There's our entry. Now we also are told that and provided that Ronald sold some other assets, and we're provided with a brokerage statement. Now, it also has a 1099 dividend statement on it on the brokerage form, and it has a 1099 INT for interest on it. I'm not going to. I've already input those. You should already know how to input a dividend form and an interest form. I'll show you those in a minute. But we do at the bottom of the brokerage statement have the summary of proceeds and so forth. And so we're going to enter those. So we have a capital gains transaction, description of the property. Let's just call it mutual funds. Date acquired. Well, when was it acquired? Well, we're going to do the short term first. So the short term, we are given information. And let's see if I can find that information on my printout here. And we're told the short-term sales occurred on 8/17, and there are various dates they were acquired. So we're going to say that date acquired is an alternate option, not a specific date, and we're going to say that it's various short-term. Date sold. We're told that the sale occurred again on 8/17/2023. So we can key in, and I've already keyed it in, 8/17/2023. What was the sales price? Well, the sales price is on the form. The proceeds are $17,749.50, which rounds up to $17,750. So it's 17750. Cost basis. The line it's on says short, line A, basis reported to the IRS. So the basis was reported, cost basis to the IRS. What was the cost? Well, we have that. The cost was given to us on the form, brokerage statement, of $13,932.50. That rounds up to $13,933. 3,933. Adjustments, there are none. So we're done, except we know this is for multiple items. So what we want to do is go down here to the box, it says M, report multiple transactions on a single row. It was multiple short-term transactions, so we want to click that box M to say that we're just rolling it up into one number, into single numbers, but these were for multiple transactions. And now we're done. We can go back and check to make sure that we've inputted the prices, the sales price and the cost correctly, but then we're just going to say continue to save it. We now have our various short-term off of the brokerage statement. Now we know, though, that at the bottom of the brokerage statement, this is on page 51 of the self-study guide, that we have another, and that's long-term. So we'll just call it again mutual funds. Date acquired. When was it acquired? Well, it's all long-term. And so let me look back at my sheet, and we see that long-term, it was all various. So what we're going to say is, again, alternate, and they required various long-term. And there it is. Date they were sold. Well, it shows that long-term sales, the last transaction was on 9/23. So we can just use the last transaction. 9/23/2023. What was the sales price? Sales price is given to us on line D on this, in this portion of the brokerage, of $8,089.35. So that rounds down to $8,089. And what was the cost basis? Well, it's on the line next to basis reported to IRS. So cost basis reported to IRS. What was the cost? Cost is given to us as $5,194.75. which rounds up to $5,195. 95. So we've now input that. No adjustments here. Again, it's for multiple transactions. So we're going to click box M that says reporting multiple transactions on a single row, in effect a single entry. And we're done with that. We've entered in our description, date acquired, and there were various long-term, dates sold, specific date. We could use any date during that year, the tax year. Sales price, $8,089. Cost basis reported to the IRS. There's the cost, and we're done. We've now entered 3 transactions. I just want to go back and show you that interest and dividends. I did enter the interest and dividends that are on the consolidated brokerage statement, and there are 2 of them. They're both, it's all Alpine brokerage. One is the dividend, and that was entered $4,561 in box 1A, and the rest of it I've entered hopefully correctly. In addition, there was an interest statement, and that was for $346 in box 1. And there are other entries as well. Tax exempt was $88. Bond premium in box 11 was $224. And that's it. So I've entered all of the information required in exercise 21.